Dieter, good to see you again today.
Good seeing you as well.
So today I heard that there's a new feature in Power BI called, is it Apps?
Yeah, the Power BI application or app has a new feature called Audience for that. So a little bit about Power BI, the app itself. It's a great way to bundle a lot of the content, analytic content, whether it be a dashboard or reports for specific groups. Good example, like a department or an area, let's say sales or finance or some area. You can bundle a bunch of reports together and put them into an app and allow them to be consumed on a mobile device or through the service. So,
yeah, it was a little kludgy the way it worked before, correct? Like you had to create links to previous applications.
There was,
and
right.
They would I think a challenge there was it always open in a new browser. So it was difficult to make more like a portal application in that regard?
Yeah, in this case, the app itself allows you to sort of see all the content now seamlessly. And with the audiences, it even gives you a more diverse way of showing that information. Okay. With the app itself, you could put together a whole lot of reports and dashboards. And one of the challenges was that let's say you had 30 reports, and 10 of them were aimed at executives for this department, and the other 20 were for day-to-day workers,
right,
or analysts. There was a real kludgy way to get that separated out so that everyone could see the content they needed. Now with the audience, you can create an audience for your executives and then for your analysts, and now you can easily split that content into many different pieces. So with that, it becomes a lot easier to share that content.
I've noticed with some of our customers that there was a tendency to build these like big monoliths
yes.
in Power BI. So is it true that you think the audience feature now allows you to build more component-based reporting and then bring it together and collect these different slices of your data analytics views
into one area
into one cohesive.
Mm-hmm. So it also allows it actually prevents the duplication of data. Often the answer to this was to duplicate a report, one for the executive, one for the rep, or one for one department and the same report, and then put them in different areas to allow them to see that. So.
And then you had, of course, dual maintenance. And,
yes.
The revisions took twice as long.
Right.
The testing cycle took twice as long.
Exactly. And then there's the who gets to update what report and where and when. And now here this content's all together, and the audience sort of helps divide that up. So.
And can you contrast this for me? So the license with embedded, if I had a pro license, I could do some of these things. I could use links to bring things together. I couldn't do that portal. The answer before, at least for some of our customers, was go to the embedded license. How is it different than creating an embedded?
The embedded license is really for that, just that. It embeds it into an application, another separate application. This is going through the Power BI service. So there are similarities and there are some differences. The embedded application gives you some flexibility about where to put your content, where the Power BI service app is a way of bundling all the service-related reports together into one cohesive way to get to it. With a Power BI app, much like an app that you would build for an embedded app, I can open up my phone, download that app to make sure I have the access, and it gives me all my content I need. And as I was saying, much the same way we talked about for making sure we had a portal for everyone to see all their content.
How about for data segregation? Does it affect that in any way, or can you make data reusable in some way, or what are the boundaries there?
So with the Power BI app, basically it follows the suite for the actual source for your data. So if you've got a Power BI data set that you're using for your reports, that the rules for engagement for that data follows that application. So it basically lends itself to that. With an application, you can be flexible about that. For an embedded app, you can be flexible with that. But for the case of Power BI app, it follows those rules. So if you've got the rules set up in your report for, let's say, rule-based reporting where some people can see certain data or data points, that follows through on the app side as well.
Okay. And I'm curious about workspaces then too. Like how does that divide up your how does that apply to workspace development? Or is it an app per workspace then?
There was-
and when you bring it together, is
There
it?
was an app per workspace. So for every workspace, you could build an app for that. I know that they are certainly working in the preview state for now to get that so it expands across applications. So we can have multiple workspaces with one app for that. That's what the audience piece was going to be doing. But for now, it's still one workspace, one app. And that's really, the audience piece helps break that up, because before I had to build an app or a workspace for the executives, and I had to build an app or a workspace for the analysts and other consumers.
Yeah, and that's a lot more pipeline development, a lot more support
Yes.
across your applications.
Right. So this sort of simplifies things, and it makes it easier for the person who's delivering the content, the author, to worry less about who gets what where. It's all part of how you build out that audience.
So if I'm updating one of the apps which is built into an audience which has many of those pulled together, is it fair to say that I can use that same workspace when I update it? It's updated in all those different
Yes,
spots?
it's all the same spots, and then it gets consumed by who is in the audience group for that.
Okay.
So one place, split to many.
Yeah, it seems very powerful then.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do, and it's been clamored for and asked for a long time to Microsoft, and they've come through. So.
As we were talking before this, so we've had a couple customers that were trying to build these more portal kind of
Yeah.
applications in Power BI, and it didn't, the way the tooling worked didn't really come together unless you bought some big embedded license. So I want to go back and talk to some of our customers and show them like, hey, yeah, we can actually embed some of these sub features
Yeah.
in. You can have different teams manage the reports and have their own life cycle, but the audiences can all benefit from that. Divided development.
Yeah, this may be a great way to diversify that group and to consolidate the reporting, development, and maintenance, but yet deliver to a larger audience.
Yeah.
So.
I think we're moving towards a world where we have more citizen development.
Agreed.
And, this allows, I'm repeating myself, but it allows us to move, report development or ownership of a problem space into that one department, but look at them across our enterprise organization as a whole.
Yeah.
We could pull this piece in from this part of the organization. We could pull that piece in from that part of the organization. And then security, it can be managed centrally, right?
It can be.
Provision the roles
Yeah.
in a certain way, divide it out so that that data doesn't leak out of the organization.
Right. And you and I know we have lots of clients who do just that. They follow that same governance rule. They have the security in coming out from one source, and they allow the citizen developers to build and authors to build out the content for their areas, for their groups. So we're definitely seeing the boom of that.
Awesome. Dieter, thanks for talking to us today.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
As always.